Okay, due to not having a bleeder resistor across that cap, I've gone ahead and put the cover on this just so I don't brush up against the B plus talking about this. So something I might do is put a resistor in there, at least on a temporary basis. Now, something I thought about doing was, instead of actually taking out one of these rectifiers and putting like a 5AR4 there and then sticking, a KT88 or something like that, but I don't know, and then possibly to maybe taking out one of these sockets and putting in a preamp tube, maybe an octal one too, like a 6S7 for example, just comes to mind. I don't know why I did. Could be a lot of stuff. There's a lot of octal metal can preamp tubes, and they sound great, regardless of any rumors to the contrary. I've heard plenty of examples of sweet sounding metal can tubes, both post and pre. So yeah, this is something I did read on a forum, that the AO-32 is capable of 250 milliamps, this power transformer. So in its original schematic, I looked at that, and of course I have the Hammond schematic to the organ that this went to. And just as an aside, I don't recommend ever destroying a working organ to get this supply or any of the amps that are in it. It's just not worth destroying a perfectly good organ. But if you already have a supply like this, or if it comes out of a non-repairable organ, awesome. Now, but in its original schematic, it was a push-pull configuration, I believe, 3 EL84 or 6 AQ5s on each side in parallel, I believe is what it is. Or it may have been 3 pairs in different parts of the organ. So yeah, this is definitely, I may keep this just a power supply and use its modularity for testing and powering prototypes and stuff like that. I'm tempted to do that. But then I'm also tempted to paint these up and make this into a self-contained amp, as other people have done. I think Terry at D-Labs may have done something like this. I know that Brad, the guitologist on YouTube, got incredible tone off of basing an amp off of, I don't think it was AR-32. I think it was the AO. I think it was a different Hammond piece, but nevertheless, it's quite similar, and the power supply was very similar. And I think I've seen one that only has one rectifier, but this is the dual rectifier version. So I'm going to be doing something with this in the near future.